Nothing announces that you have made it in life than getting yourself one of these, a Range Rover. Now, over 50 years, the Range Rover has transformed itself from a 4x4 off-road icon into a favorite choice of the rich and famous. After all, nothing announces power, nothing announces exuberance like a Range Rover does. And we are in Mumbai getting mesmerized by the 5th generation of this very exciting SUV. In terms of the overall design language of the Range Rover, it continues to feature the characteristics of its predecessors, and the overall design on this 5th generation model, it is more of an evolution rather than a revolution. But there are quite a lot of changes. For example, these headlamps, they are LED headlamps and they get 1.2 million micro mirrors in the headlamps to ensure that every bit of the road is illuminated perfectly. You also get very neatly integrated fog lamps on the 2022 Range Rover. Move over to the side and you'll notice that you get 22-inch diamond cut alloy wheels on the top spec autobiography trim. 22-inch wheels are standard across the range, and I must point out that the Range Rover, it also gets 23-inch wheels for the first time as an option. Move over to the side, you get flush fit door handles, a very cool detail, and another fact that you might want to pay attention to is that the window line is flush fit. There is no panel gap between the door and the glass. It's seamlessly done, and that's the sort of detail that a Range Rover buyer or a Range Rover owner, he or she pays attention to. Move over at the rear, you get a nice spoiler with the rear wiper integrated to give it a cool look. And if you cannot spot the tail lamp, I'll put you out of your misery. Avdut, hit the brakes. Those are the brake lights, hidden away until you actually need them, and they make the rear of the Range Rover a very menacing, a very cool looking SUV. Step inside the 2022 Range Rover, and the big change, of course, is the buttons, or rather the lack of them. If you have ever stepped inside the earlier Range Rovers, you'll notice that the layout, while though it was very luxurious, it was full of buttons. The design overall was very busy, and that has been corrected for 2022. The overall design of this interior, it's free of distractions. The materials used are nice. The interior itself is very airy. You get a 13.1-inch touchscreen with the PV Pro infotainment from the Land Rover Defender. You get wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, a wireless phone charger. The steering wheel itself, it's an all-new design. It feels great to hold. You get paddle shifters, nice paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. The clocks themselves, they are digital, they are all new, and you can customize them however which way you wish. And of course, the big talking point has to be the quality of materials used. There is not a single panel in the 2022 Range Rover that feels anything short of exquisite. And this is an SUV that truly announces you have made it in life. The best way to enjoy a Range Rover then has always been from the rear seat, and the rear seat of this 5th gen Range Rover is no different. It is very comfortable. You also get an optional accessory called the executive class seating package, which sort of neatly splits the rear seat into two, and it also gives you an array of massage options, additional adjusting options, and another optional accessory is the rear seat infotainment that displays the navigation, and you can also check out OTT content on these screens. Now, we at Evo India have always been a fan of the thrill of driving. We like driving hard, we like driving fast. But the Range Rover, this is an SUV that you really want to savor the rear seat of. You can get completely isolated from the bad roads of the city thanks to the air suspension on offer with the Range Rover. Another cool fact, it gets noise cancelling interiors. That's so cool. And if being isolated from the world in silence is not your thing, the 5th gen of this SUV, it also gets a 1600 watt Meridian sound system to really crank up your tunes when on the move. The Range Rover, it can be had in multiple configurations. This is a 5-seater and you can also get a 7-seat option on the Range Rover. The Range Rover comes with 3 engine options. First, we'll talk about the diesel. This will likely do the most numbers in terms of sales. This is a 3-liter inline-6 diesel. It gets 356 bhp of power. You also get a petrol on offer. Range Rover has kept diesels alive and has still continuing with petrols. The petrol, it makes 394 bhp of power. This is also a 3-liter inline-6, and both these engines, they're mild hybrids. On offer is also a twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8. This is the most powerful of the lot. It makes 523 bhp of power, and that will definitely be the choice of an enthusiast. These engines are mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and driving this SUV should be a very easy task thanks to the addition of rear wheel steering that aids in providing a very tight turning radius. The 2022 Range Rover is underpinned by the MLA Flex platform, which future-proofs the SUV for electrification, and an all-electric version of the Range Rover is expected to arrive by 2024. Now in terms of pricing, the 2022 Range Rover, the prices start at rupees 2.38 crore for the base diesel variant, going up all the way to 3.43 crore for the top spec autobiography with the 4.4-liter V8. Now I know the Range Rover does cost a fortune in terms of money for what is essentially a 4-wheel drive SUV. But the Range Rover, it was never for those thinking with the head over the heart. The Range Rover was for people and always has been for people who wanted the best of the best. They are the cream of the crop. Unmatched luxury, unmatched off-roading ability and unmatched road presence is what the Range Rover offers. And if you love all of those aspects, I strongly recommend that you get one of these SUVs in your life.